Dark Souls, but with crabs. That's what we've got here with another crab's treasure. I've got one mission, to save my city. Nah, just kidding, I'm just here to get my shell back. But will I make it through the deep waters, or will I sleep with the fishes? One thing is for certain, it's gonna be a shell of a time. Welcome to the Conqueror's quest for another crab's treasure. Bring it full. Let's dive into our first boss. Actually, I should have said sprint. Look at that dude run. Nephro, captain of the guard, loves one thing more than anything. Old cowboy movies. Why would I want a pony when I can be the pony? I'm pretty sure that's what he wrote in his diary. So we trained day after day, galloping in circles. This actually worked in my favour because I still had no idea when to dodge to avoid hits in this game. So I stuck to the inside of his prancing and poked him with my very dangerous fork. I eventually managed to capsize Nephro and finish him off. The clash is over. I fought the law and the law lost. Run the law. Polluted Platoon Pathfinder is next, and it seems like they've had one too many and decided to pick a fight with the first thing it sees, just like your least favourite uncle on the weekends. Keeping your distance from the drunken disorderly is the best plan of attack, just like in real life. Once they're tired, I was able to rush in and capitalise, enough to get a capsize. The Pathfinder has a second phase after breaking its bottle from one too many slams, so you'll have to add bottle stabbings to the list of attacks to avoid. After sacrificing my shell, I ran in for the final strike. This one's all knotted up, and we're on to the next. Magista, Tyrant of Slacktine, used to be the Duchess of Slacktine, but she let it get to her head and drove everybody, every crab, insane. What was once a nice sunny sandcastle is now infected with gunk. Magista must have had one too many sips of her tea because she was spewing toxic goo everywhere. The annoying part was you'd finally reposition her to a clean area only for her to unleash a fresh wave of gunk. And let me tell you, you do not want the gunk. After dodging her goopy attacks and some well-timed pokes with my trusty fork, I finally managed to bring her down. Victory never smelled so, fishy. The royal Shellsplitter loved nothing more than riding his bicycle along the beach. One sunny day, he spotted a new pop-up cafe and decided to pop in for a quick treat. But when he returned to where he parked his bike, it was gone, stolen. All that remained was his bike lock. From that day, he vowed vengeance. He took the remains of his bike lock and turned it into a makeshift guillotine. No one was safe. In the eyes of the Shellsplitter, everyone was against him, which was bad news for me, a mere bystander. There was no reason with him, so I had to do what I had to do and took the royal Shellsplitter out. And just as before, all that remains now is his bike lock.
There we go. That's what's meant to happen the first time.
Apparently, if you stayed on the path, Pagurus wouldn't fight you, but no matter what I did, he would always sniff me out and charge at me. I only had one option, fight back. In one of my earlier runs, I learned that if he eats your banana shell, he loses around 60% of his health. So my plan on this run was to try and do as much damage as possible, then bait him into eating my shell. Easy win, right? Well, of course things don't go according to plan. There goes my banana shell. They may say size doesn't matter, but clearly they weren't talking about crabs with forks as weapons. I would get almost one hit from any of his swings. Pagurus made me use all my kelp hearts and broke my shell. With no other shell in sight, I knew I had to take my chances and stay on the offensive. I knew I'd never get an opportunity like this again. His health bar was so low. So I went all in, taking a massive gamble,
Whoa.
And fortunately this time, it paid off.
We finally did it, jeez.
Now we're up against the diseased Lichenthrope, or Lichenthrope. I'm pretty sure it's one of those, but just to be safe, we'll call him Bushman. Poor Bushman here is sitting with a terrible case of Sugma.
Damn,
It's a serious condition. Did you know that 1 in 5 crabs suffer from Sugma? They need our help. For just $500 in an unmarked envelope directed to yours truly, you could help make Sugma a thing of the past. Please note all donations are non-refundable and Rizzy Race is not responsible for any mysterious loss of funds.
Ooh.
Did somebody say KFC? I mean sushi? Helkea has invited us over for some gourmet dining, but it turns out we were the main course. look at it flexing its chopstick skills. Just like in real life, I'll be sticking to a fork. The only bit of chopstick skills I share with Helkea is breaking the sticks apart incorrectly. But don't be fooled by the fancy presentation, this crab means business. Can't be too tempted to rush in or you will be the dish of the day. But I outsmart this culinary genius, this crab will not be on the menu.
There we go.
Next up, we've got a puzzle boss, the Consortium. Held together by a few flimsy knots, it's our job to unleash the beast. Now, on paper, this fight is straightforward, but in practice, my real enemy here was the camera. Most of my deaths came courtesy of not being able to see a single thing on my screen, leading to the good old one shot from our friends in the cage. Despite the camera's best efforts though, we managed to hit all the weak points and finally crack it open. And do I get a thank you for setting them free? Absolutely not. Moral of the story, don't do nice things for people, I mean crabs. In this boss battle, we learn that adding a shell to our fork can unleash some mega damage. Scuttling, Sludge, Steamroller may be big, but man is this crab fast. This tradie definitely does cashews only and charges by the project, not the hour. It's eager to get in and out faster than you can say crustacean construction. Crustacean construction, man, that's a bit of a tongue twister, isn't it? Try saying that fast 10 times in a row. The key to this fight was keeping your distance to bait a combo, then hit him with a charged attack, hoping you can get in before he swipes back at you. May have taken some big hits, but the bigger they are, the more susceptible they are to falling over and causing a massive ruckus. I feel like there should be a shorter saying for something like that, it might even catch on. The Ceviche Sisters are a pair of gunslinging shrimp, but lack any real danger. Tank the hits and hit them like a tank. This one was over before it even began. Now to put some shrimp on the barbie. I'm just kidding, we don't actually do that in Australia.
Don't call me friend.
Grovekeeper Topoda. Stings like a butterfly and floats like a bee. This guy seems to come at you from all angles, but luckily doesn't land too many hits on me. With so many barrage hits, it was almost dreamlike. Or maybe it was because I was a crab, fighting another crab, while inside of another crab. All we need are some Hans Zimmer French horns, and this would be an instant cinematic classic.
First attempt as well, not too bad.
And next we have Voltai putting the cum in accumulator. You'll see why as the fight goes on. She really blows me away with her electric personality. Her moonlighting days as a Sparky have paid off well, or maybe it was all part of a magician's act. How else would you explain how she makes toast underwater? But we won't fall for this sus boss's tricks. We're done with the show, free of charge.
There we go, sus boss is down.
We're in Vegas, baby, or whatever Roland calls his hometown. Did you know that 99% of gamblers quit before their big win? Well, that's not gonna happen to us. We only know how to win. Roland might be on a roll, but we are here for the jackpot. This boss is all talk. Grab yourself a heavy duty shell, block and counterattack. If you're good enough, you'll even get to play a little bit of pinball as the fight goes on. But we're calling Roland's bluff. The house does not always win.
And we got him.
Finally, some rest. Wait a minute, why is my house moving? This wasn't in my lease contract. Actually, looking back at this footage, this is a very rare instance of me being in the wrong. Here was Petroch, taking a nap, enjoying the finer things in life, and in comes Krill, a certified home invader, looking to cause pain and destruction to all things in its way. For a crab on a journey to get its home back, he has no regard for disturbing other crabs' homes. I may have won the fight against the false moon, but was it really a victory? Yes it was. See you in Shell, Petroch.
Boom, alright, that was it.
Now we're going back to an early area as I had missed one of the optional bosses you could face, the Curdled Carbonara Connoisseur. This is probably my messiest fight because I knew I was over leveled, so I threw everything I knew about defense out the window, which granted wasn't a lot, but it did mean I was being overly aggressive and had to pay a few times. But in the end, brute force wins. The strongest always survive.
Cool, so we got him. That was bring it, Inkerton.
When we first faced Inkerton, unofficially of course, the dude was a menace. But now it is I who is a menace. I don't know how, but I really got the timing down on all his attacks this run. I was blocking at the perfect time, being really aggressive and using my special Mantis Punch move as much as possible. The Mantis Punch was easily my favourite adaptation in the game. You can get capsizes in the blink of an eye. It absolutely shreds. He'll try to use a disappearing act as his health gets lower, but joke's on him, I was born in darkness. Wow, that's 2 Chris Nolan references in one video now. Looking back, this is probably my cleanest fight in the whole game. I didn't even need to use a single kelp to heal up. The hunter has now become the hunted.
There we go.
Now who's next? We face royalty now. It's best to get up and close and be awed by greatness. And by that, I mean stay close because there is a certain spot where you won't get hit and can dish out a lot of damage. This is your new home. Don't ever think about moving. Sooner rather than later, Camtscha, which, what a name, is down. Or is he? We should have known. Throughout this region, there were a bunch of crabs that would come back to life. I guess we finally know how they learnt that trick. This phase is the real fight, where he becomes a lot more dangerous. He gets some sonic speed boosts and loves to jump around and hit you with never-ending combos. This is where the Mantis Punch comes in clutch. He can't attack you with speed, if he can't attack you because he's stunned. This was the mentality you needed to beat this boss. And now, the king has officially been slain. The throne is mine. I think that's how it works, right? As we delve deeper into the abyss, we hear the cries of Praya Dubia. She likes to get her minions to do all the hard work while she floats in the sky. I mean, upper water level. Once you take out all the crabs, she'll come down to greet you in person. But not for very long. She's a very busy crab, so best shake her hand as much as possible. Once she floats back up, it's back to the crab slaughtering. We repeat this process until she no longer has any health left, but don't get too comfortable, phase 2 is about to start. Now phase 2, I had no idea what was actually happening, but then I remembered what Limp Bizkit told me ages ago. We gotta keep rolling, 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 rolling. As long as you don't run into anything, this second phase is finito.
Come on, do it! Hit me! Don't be a cow!
It's final boss time, and coincidentally, the boss I died to the most. Even more than Pagurus somehow. Firth really put me in my place. Phase 1 was never really a problem for me. As we know, I was recently crowned King of the Crabs, so I switched to the Royal Wave adaptation, mainly because it let me spam it over and over. Just with this move alone, we get past phase 1.
This is stupid, pal!
Now, phase 2 is where all my problems started. The amount of times I would get one hit was incredible. One very small mistimed dodge or block, and it was to the Shadow Realm with you. The fact that Firth would teleport all over the arena didn't do me any favours either. Oh, and who could forget about the whirlpools littered all over. I somehow needed to be patient and relentless at the same time. I'm just happy we finally were able to put this filth in the trash, where he belongs. He will not be missed. Now give me my shell back so I can get the shell out of here. Bring on the stats.